Hi guys, here I am in Colorado. Here, once the trees are starting to turn, it's so beautiful. Going for a lunchtime hike, which if you've spent any time here, you probably know the Ute Trail is my favorite lunchtime hike. But I wanted to say hello, and also that, you know, it's interesting with social media because I think at a certain point you put a certain image of yourself out there, and then there's things that you keep to yourself. In the past few weeks, I've been noticing that people really want to talk about some of this kind of more, vulnerable stuff that's happening. And by that, I mean autoimmune and also Sibo. So I have been on the autoimmune journey for about 5 years now. And I have Hashimoto's. I also truly think I probably have a couple other things that are starting. So if you know anyone with autoimmune, or you're familiar with autoimmune, autoimmune diseases cluster. So once you have one, you're more likely to have others. So that's kind of a bummer. But anyway, I'll talk more about that in another video. But I wanted to talk about Sibo. So Sibo stands for small intestine bacterial overgrowth. Oftentimes people with autoimmune have Sibo and vice versa. You can have autoimmune without having Sibo, and you can have Sibo without having autoimmune. It's also very highly correlated with IBS. Some people think that Sibo is IBS. So as you can tell, there's a lot of varying opinions out there. And so that makes it kind of hard. And so what you doing? Did you find something? Did you find an actual bear? So anyway, I have been treating Sibo for about 3 years. It comes and goes. It doesn't make you feel good at all when you have an overgrowth. You have anxiety, you have a depression. Physically, you feel kind of like bloated all the time, and you feel puffy. Some people experience pain in the small intestine. So if you have Sibo, or you think you might have Sibo, reach out to me, because I feel like at this stage, I have gone through a lot of the steps in Sibo that you're supposed to go through. And I think it's kind of a process, right? It's like you start with the elimination diet, then you start antimicrobials, if you choose to do antibiotics, and all of these different phases are important because there's ways to address it. And of course, it's a very nuanced conversation. Basically, I can't believe I'm out of breath. I'm at altitude. I feel like I'm talking and panting. Basically, whatever you do, you run the risk of having the Sibo become immune to that treatment. So if you take antimicrobials for too long, you're gonna run the risk of being immune to them. If you take antibiotics too many rounds, again, you just train the Sibo, to be immune to antibiotics. So I've been down this path, and it's been really interesting over the past few years, and I just find myself having so much information to share at this point. I am currently doing my second round here in Aspen of rifaximin, yeah. And so I had done one earlier in the summer, and then now I'm doing my second round, and I've tweaked a couple of things. Because if you've ever done rifaximin, you know it's effective 50 to 70% of the time. Sometimes the Sibo just comes right back, and in my case, it just came back with a vengeance. So anyway, I wanted to put this out here. Of course, this is a vulnerable topic for me. I feel like I'm saying that with my sunglasses on. This is a very vulnerable topic for me, right? Like, I think that sometimes I keep it light, I keep it plant-based, yoga-based, woo-woo, intuition, which all of those things I love. But I think that based on the conversations I've had in my DMs and also in person, it's time to open up the conversation a little bit more in a way that can be meaningful if you have friends or if you yourself experience autoimmune or SIBO. So I hope this is helpful. I'm going to be doing some more videos on this topic and what has worked for me, what hasn't worked, all of the ups and downs of trying to treat something that is really, really hard to eradicate. And then, of course, I'm also going to talk about the correlation between SIBO and autoimmune, what that means, what it means for your autoimmune disease if you have SIBO that's hard to eradicate, and yeah, just kind of basically sharing what I know, because I feel like I share what I know amongst friends and I share in DMs, and there's really no reason that I couldn't share on my socials at this point, except for that I'm embarrassed. That's the only reason. I'm just embarrassed to say that I have SIBO. It's embarrassing. So I'm trying, obviously, to move past that. Before I sign off, it's so beautiful right now. The colors are starting to change. These are aspen trees, and I'm guessing these are all in the same grove or pod, because aspen trees all turn in the exact time that their pod turns, and these are pretty similar in color. Aspen trees grow under the ground, and so all of these trees right here are connected, which is a really beautiful energy. All right, till next time.